It wasn't just for style. It was carefully maintained and usually tied up so it wouldn't interfere with daily life. In fact, it was so long that it became part of his identity. One day, a massive fire broke out in his town. As chaos spread and people ran in panic, Hans rushed to help organize the response. But in the rush, he forgot something small that changed everything. His beard was left untied. While moving quickly down a staircase, he accidentally stepped on it. That moment of imbalance was enough. He fell, lost control completely, and broke his neck. A respected leader, remembered in the most unexpected way. Not for politics, but for a fatal mistake involving his own beard. Next, Chrysippus. One of the most important thinkers of ancient Greece, known for shaping early logic and Stoic philosophy. His life was built around discipline, reasoning, and emotional control. Ironically, his death is remembered for the opposite. According to ancient accounts, he once saw a donkey eating figs. Something about the situation struck him as extremely funny. He began laughing and couldn't stop. What started as amusement turned into a violent physical reaction. He reportedly went into an uncontrollable laughing fit, struggling to breathe as his body gave out. Eventually, he died while still laughing. A philosopher who spent his life studying control, defeated by a moment of pure, unstoppable laughter. Then there is Clement Vallandigham, a lawyer defending a man accused of murder. His argument was that the victim had accidentally shot himself, and to prove it, he decided to recreate the scenario in court. Standing in front of the jury, he carefully demonstrated how the victim might have drawn and handled the weapon. But there was a critical mistake no one noticed in time. The gun he was using was loaded. In the middle of his demonstration, he pulled the trigger and shot himself in the process. He was severely wounded and died hours later. The tragic irony is that his demonstration worked. His client was declared not guilty. He succeeded in court, but paid for it with his life. Next, Bobby Leach, a daredevil who made a name for himself surviving Niagara Falls inside a metal barrel. It was one of the most dangerous stunts ever attempted, and he actually lived through it, though not without serious injuries. That survival made him famous, almost legendary. He had beaten one of nature's most violent forces, but years later his life ended in the most ordinary way possible. While walking, he slipped after stepping on an orange peel. The fall caused a serious leg injury that became infected. That infection slowly worsened and eventually killed him. A man who survived a waterfall defeated by something most people wouldn't even notice. Finally, Franz Reichelt, an inventor who designed a wearable parachute suit intended to save pilots from falling aircraft. His idea was ahead of its time, and in theory it could have saved lives, but instead of testing it safely with a dummy or controlled setup, he chose to test it himself. On a cold day, he climbed the Eiffel Tower while people watched below. They assumed he would throw a test object first. He didn't. He stepped forward and jumped. The parachute failed to open properly, and he fell to his death in front of the crowd. A tragic example of how belief in an invention is not the same as proof it works. And when you look at all these stories together, a pattern appears. Not battle, not destiny, not fate, just small decisions, with irreversible consequences. The most disturbing part is how normal everything felt right before it happened. None of them expected history to remember them this way. Sometimes the smallest mistake is enough to rewrite everything. So which one feels the most unbelievable to you?